The 501c3 nonprofit that operates both the transfer station and the exchange is called Orcas Recycling Services. The exchange is the reuse center on the site, and that's the entity that started all of this back in 1981 when there was just a shack and a few tents in the trees.
The exchange was originally this little, George called it the back eddy on the waste stream. Some guys got together and said, we want to start saving the good stuff so it doesn't go off island in a truck.
And the fact that it was donation only was radical at the time. I mean, a lot of people could do things in their homes and in their lives because they could afford to go in and pay whatever they thought it was worth, and somehow the model worked.
I've lived in other cultures, third world, where there's all sorts of barter and haggling and stuff like that, but never something like this, which if you didn't have money, that wasn't what mattered most. What mattered is you have humanity, you have need. You can't not have human needs. And so no one was turned away for lack of money.
That was the fun, watching the stuff come and go and watching people refurbish their lives with excitement rather than shopping and that whole struggle with choices. Here you'd see something and your imagination could kind of give you an idea of what to do with it. The highest form of reuse was to make something new out of it creatively.
The county decided to get out of the solid waste business and to put out for contract operating the transfer station. The other bidder was a commercial trucking company.
Their model is based on the more they truck, the more they make. And I just never believed that the exchange would be allowed to coexist with them. They would be running a trucking company and we'd be right in their front yard.
I remember saying to the board that this could be either the greatest threat facing us to be hemmed in on two sides, the waste and recycling, or this could be the greatest opportunity if we go for it. If we go for this and try to win it, you know?
We thought it was a really cool opportunity to take over our local waste stream and capture as much of the financial revenue that comes from garbage to keep jobs here, as well as drive a zero waste initiative for our own island. At first, the county and I think everybody was sort of surprised that the exchange was stepping up and putting a business plan together to take over the waste stream. And it was interesting because it was treated as if we were crazy for wanting to take this on. So there was a lot of effort just to sort of get people to understand that we actually could do this, and as a community we could take this on and learn whatever was necessary.
Person by person came forward to help us out and guide us and provide us the resources that are needed to do something like this.
After we had jumped through many hoops and we had done all the things we needed to do to be the company everybody needed us to be in order to legally run this transfer station, one of the last things was to get a letter of intent from a waste processing facility, a company that would take our garbage basically and put it in a landfill. And we were up to the last minute and we're going to a council meeting to present our updates, and we got a letter literally I think that morning, and we brought it into the secretary and she made copies and passed it around to the council. And it was just like an exciting thing because nobody could say no anymore. There was nothing. It was like we were moving forward, and everything that anybody ever wanted from us we were able to find and get.
1 month into negotiating the contract, there's the fire, and the exchange burns. That was hard.
That fire got so hot, it melted aluminum, steel, and it was a very, very sad day to see a place that I loved a lot and spent a lot of time on the weekends, you know, finding treasures, to see it was actually burned to the ground.
It was a really challenging time because we had just gotten the contract to run the transfer station and we needed to do that, but the exchange had burned to the ground, so we had to also figure out how to get that rebuilt.
We talked about tensile fabric structures, shipping containers, and other projects that had used shipping containers, and then also attached these greenhouses on top of them, and we talked about how that could both provide instant closed storage as well as big open areas. But we learned that the county had really wanted a structure that was more than temporary and that was permitted. And all of a sudden the cost of getting a structurally engineered hoop house type structure just skyrocketed the cost. And so all of a sudden, everyone had these farm tech catalogs, and they were like, oh, look at this, 100,000 square feet, instantly. And that eliminated a whole set of options for us.
Council came in our retreat, and we each had an opportunity to provide a project that was of the most importance for us for that year that wasn't in the past year's budget. And I called Mike. I was like, okay, Mike, hold on. It's going to be another one of Rick's crazy requests. We don't really do this, but what if we build the exchange? And he didn't hang up on me, so that was a good sign. And then the next question is, you come in and present it to your seatmates. Again, you're just fearful that they're going to laugh you off the table or think you're being crazy, and everyone sort of nodded their head. The concept is the county owns the land, we upfront the cost for the building, and then we bring in a tenant like you would anywhere else. We sign on a long-term lease, so there's the county really hasn't any interest to get involved at all, but you make your tenant improvements. We were able to upfront a heavy financial burden and get it repaid over time so we can reinvest that money in a later date for another project.
It's been great to see how the county can work together with a nonprofit and turn the whole transfer station and the exchange into a viable, sustainable thing.
I'm here at the grand opening of the exchange, and it is absolutely remarkable. What we have is this incredible facility that is better than anything that we could have imagined, and it's due in part to so many people. There was many of the staff who have worked tirelessly to make this happen, but hundreds in the community who gave money and volunteered and gave advice or helped with individual pieces of the construction and so on. It's what happens when a community like ours comes together.
I hope this building will be here a long time, and when it was being planned, I said, arrange the roof so that we can add solar panels. Plan ahead for things like this so we can be even more sustainable in the future.
Orcas Recycling Services and the Exchange are nonprofits, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't make a profit. Our idea is to run a healthy, sustainable business and channel the profits, any profits that are made, toward mission-related efforts.
Now I drive into the exchange, it's beautiful, it's 10 times better, people are going to be safer, we have our waste flow is being treated better, the environment's being treated better because there's better care of what's happening, and now this beautiful exchange building has opened up.
Now we've realized the challenges of managing the business, managing the various contracts that are involved, and we're I think getting some of the new tools to do this, and have demonstrated that we can be good stewards of the county's transfer station property and can help the county be good stewards of our waste resources.
There's always more to do. We have reached a huge, in some ways, starting point of getting the exchange back. We can start serving the community in that capacity again and continue to evaluate what are the needs of our community on an ongoing basis and hopefully grow and evolve with that.
All the employees and board members and volunteers are working together, and we just have people coming in from all different angles, and some people's passion is the books and some people's passion is the kitchen stuff, and they can just kind of create this beautiful little section of used things that need new homes.
So it's super exciting to have the exchange back. It's probably responsible for maybe taking as much as 10% out of the waste stream and keeping it here on the island, but there's still a lot of material going off island. So we have to now look at other parts of the waste stream. We have to improve the recycling system. We definitely need to get a large-scale composting system happening. Reuse is just one piece of the puzzle, and we have a lot more work to do to get to zero waste.